In the news tonight, increasing concern about the impact on Barbados of a strike at U.S. ports. Barbados emphasizes its commitment to complying with international tax standards.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Very good evening. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, there's growing concern about the threatened strike at U.S. seaports by the International Longshoremen's Association and the severe effects it could have on Barbadian businesses and consumers. Two more private sector associations have added their voices to the warning already issued by the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry. One of them is the Transportation Intermediaries of Barbados, whose president, Norman Rice, has detailed what would happen if the industrial action takes place.
If this strike happens, it will have a serious impact on the supply of goods to this region. It will result in delays and shortages of goods being landed. In addition, there will be an impact on costs, as we will see the lines imposing congestion surcharges, repositioning surcharges to ports that are not affected by the strike. These surcharges will result in increased landed costs, which in turn will be passed on to the final consumers.
Mr. Rice also said even before this threat loomed, they had advised customers to implement measures that, if adopted, would lessen the impact of the strike.
To mitigate some of the challenges caused by the recent supply chain issues, we have been advising our customers to engage in better route planning, buying in larger quantities, if affordable, and near sourcing by identifying suppliers who are better geographically located.
Barbados Manufacturers Association's Executive Director Sharday Boyce has also been highlighting the issue.
Our members depend on inputs from around the world to manufacture their goods, and we've put them on guard ahead of the impending strike in the United States that some disruption can be caused to shipping. Now, our members, they've been very proactive during the pandemic, and they've certainly learned a lot from the pandemic in terms of storing their inputs to ensure that they do not run out. However, we're not immune from things like this strike.
Government is working to position Barbados as a global hub for research and development. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley says Barbados has been intentional in crafting an enabling tax and policy framework to assist in this regard. Her comments came at the launch of the Global Innovation Index 2024 by the World Intellectual Property Organization.
The 50% tax credits on investment in AI, the blue economy, and on research and development in health are just some of the areas that we are developing to attract innovation investment to the island. The tax rate for patent boxes at 4.5% is also an attractive incentive to be able to encourage persons to do the research on island and to be able to benefit extensively both from our domestic taxation but with the network of treaties that we have with other countries. We aim to be a hub for inventors, for thinkers, yes, even for dreamers, who want to create and do research and who want to be able to add value to the global public goods that are so necessary to keep this world stable.
Barbados has signaled its commitment to complying with international tax standards by signing a new agreement. At a ceremony in Paris, France, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, signed the document on behalf of Barbados, along with 8 other jurisdictions. The multilateral convention to facilitate the implementation of the Pillar 2 subject to tax rule seeks to ensure fairer and better international tax arrangements, particularly for developing countries. Minister Strawn highlighted a number of recent legislative changes to Barbados' tax regime.
We have introduced the reforms legislation as well as changing systems and rules in relation to establishing the global minimum tax. We've been able also to be able to have the qualified minimum top-up tax, which we believe is particularly important in order to comply with the international standards. And this, along with a number of other critical reforms that we've undertaken under our IMF program, we believe have signaled a new level of confidence, both for business as well as investor confidence in relation to doing business in Barbados.
Minister Strawn says the reforms are an important part of the island's efforts to drive investment and build climate and economic resilience.
Barbados has been a strong advocate on not just the reform of the international financial architecture, but certainly as it relates to building climate resilience and what is required to achieve that, especially for small states like ourselves. And under the British Initiative, we continue to work with partners to be able to assure that not just the advocacy is there, but we get the actions taken early enough in order for it to make a substantive difference, not just the lives of Barbadians, but we believe the lives of all global citizens, because these issues will continue to confront us if we don't have a cohesive plan of action that allows us to address the issues that affect the most vulnerable amongst us.
Police are seeking the public's assistance in locating a teenager considered armed and dangerous. He is 19-year-old Roshan Jair Kangal, alias Lil Johnny, who is wanted for questioning in connection with serious criminal matters. Kangal, whose last known address is McLean Gap, Silver Sands, Christchurch, is approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall, of dark complexion, and is slimly built. He's advised he can present himself to the Criminal Investigations Department's Southern Division, accompanied by an attorney at law of his choice. Any person who may know the whereabouts of Roshan Jair Kangal is asked to call police emergency at 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477, or the nearest police station. Now, members of the public are also being reminded that any person caught harboring or assisting wanted individuals can be prosecuted. And coming up, a consumer advocate raises a red flag about the absence of prices on some goods.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Morning Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morningbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Retail businesses are being urged to comply with the law relating to the display of prices. The appeal from BSEEN, the Barbados Consumer Empowerment Network, in light of complaints from members of the public about missing or poorly displayed price tags. Executive Director Maureen Holder says there can be legal implications for businesses which flout the law.
BSEEN wants to remind the public that one of the provisions of the Consumer Protection Act, CAP 326D, is that prices should be clearly marked on goods, or if not marked, the consumer should be informed of the price before a transaction is completed. Now, misleading consumers by providing inaccurate pricing information or by failing to display prices can be deemed an unfair trade practice and can result in legal consequences.
The Bay Primary School has been adopted by the Order of the Secret Monitor of the Southern Caribbean. The announcement came during a ceremony at the Bayville St. Michael Educational Institution on Friday. Trevor Thorpe reports.
District Grand Supreme Ruler Ian Foster, in confirming the adoption of the Bay Primary School, told the audience how he expects the institution to benefit. 20 fans were donated to the school during the ceremony and was the latest in assistance provided over the last year. Mr. Foster said now the Masonic Body's helping hand will be extended even further.
What they will do is they will identify projects from time to time, and we will look at, the funds we have, and we are now into really a fundraising mode because we've been going for a couple of years and not doing a lot. So now we are doing various activities to raise funds so that we can donate. So I know they have other projects. So it's just a matter of, when they identify them, and we are willing to help.
Newly appointed school principal Lasandra Watson said she is happy with the relationship and the fans will make life for teachers and students more comfortable.
I am very happy. I'm very appreciative because, as you know, it has been very, very hot over the past few months. and our students are in the classrooms, and some of them don't have any fans. The air isn't circulating as it should, so we are very, very thankful for this donation.
The principal added there will be a greater focus on reading this year since the area needs attention.
Right now we are trying to get the reading program up and running. Probably as you know, reading has been a problem throughout the island. And here at Bay Primary we have some challenges with the reading as well. So one of my objectives is to get the children reading. Reading, not just calling words, but reading and knowing what they're reading, understanding what they're reading. And that is one of my, that's one of our goals.
The District Grand Supreme Ruler said assistance is not only for schools, they also assist individuals as long as they are called upon. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Coming up next on NewsNight, the weekend sports and weather. Stay with us.
We are your voice, the 2024 Parish Ambassadors of St. Peter.
Did you know that Barbados has a child protection bill?
The Child Protection Bill acknowledges the connection between child abuse, neglect, and mental health issues amongst our youth.
The bill gives support through mental health counseling to children who have experienced trauma or are living in challenging circumstances.
By addressing the emotional impact of abuse, we can assist children in healing and building confidence, giving them a voice to speak up and speak out. Let's all protect the children of Barbados, the gems of our nation.
Good evening with sports. I'm Anne-Marie Burke. The last regular season CPL match has started with the top 3 positions up for grabs. Leaders Ghana Amazon Warriors are at home to Trinbago Knight Riders. If the Warriors win, they'll finish first on 16 points, St. Lucia second on 14, TKR third on 12, and Barbados Royals fourth on 10. However, if Knight Riders win, there'll be a 3-way tie for first with 14 points, and then the top 3 positions will come down to net run rate. TKR have won the toss and decided to bat. A few moments ago, they were 1-for-1 after just the first over. TKR batting first are 35-for-1. That live coverage is on MCTV Sports Match Channel 310, while CBC TV8 will air it tape delayed from 8 p.m. Now, West Indies lost their first ICC Women's T20 World Cup warm-up match today against India. Playing at the ICC Academy Ground No. 2 in Dubai, West Indies women sent India women into bat and they kept them to 141 for 8. Jemima Rodriguez top scored 52. That included 5 fours, while Windy skipper Haley Matthews took 4 for 17. In reply, West Indies women fell 20 runs short, finishing on 121 for 8. Shania Henry top scored 59 not out with 6 fours and 2 sixes. The next warm-up match for the West Indies women is on Tuesday against the Australian women. Now, the Women's T20 World Cup begins on Thursday with the West Indies opening match scheduled for Friday against South Africa. Still with cricket, Wanderers registered an 8-wicket win over Spartan on the final day of Series 4 of the BCA 3-day elite competition. Playing at Darrell's Road, beginning the day on 71 for 3 in their second innings, Spartan were held to 165. Then Wanderers, who were set 164 for victory, were led by Jonathan Drake with an unbeaten 85 as they made 166 for 2 to take the win. Craig Brathwaite added 46. The full score is Spartan 255 and 165, Wanderers 257 for 9 declared and 166 for 2. At Bank Hall, Empire were 3-wicket winners over Gladiola. Scores Gladiola 171 and 171 for 9 declared, Empire 160 and 185 for 7. Meanwhile, UWA and Wildy played to a draw at the 3Ws Oval. UWA 193 and 117 for 5, Wildy 224 for 9 declared. There was also a draw at Friendship between YMPC and Yorkshire. YMPC 254 and 223 for 6 declared, Yorkshire 184 and 287 for 4. At Foursquare, Pickwick and BC Youth also drew their match. Pickwick made 300 for 7 declared and 54 for 8, and the Youth 177 and 270. Now, Thomas O'Neill, at just 14 years old, made history when he became the youngest Barbados National Men's Open Singles Tennis Champion. Playing at the Tennis Center in Wildy, he defeated Neil King in straight sets, 6-love, 6-3. Here's a look at the match. To see two junior players contest the men's open final augurs well for any sport. And in this case, it was Neil King backing the screen and Thomas O'Neill going for that national title. As you can see, the standard of play was up to par as we were treated to some healthy exchanges. Both boys giving us the tennis we want to see. Unfortunately, on this play, O'Neill returns into the net to give King the point. King serves, but on the return, he now goes into the net, so O'Neill capitalizes. Actually, that is where he won the first game. They switch sides and O'Neill is now closest to the screen with the serve and playing mostly from the baseline, was able to dominate yet again. King's return is too long. King, the one who serves now, O'Neill lobs the return. Again, an error on King's part gives his opponent the point. And soon enough, O'Neill was in that position to take the first set. As mentioned, with the power returns coming from the baseline, he had King chipping to get to the return, but he just couldn't as O'Neill took the first set at 6-love. A good crowd was on hand to support the two young players as they took a short break before heading back on court for the second set. And O'Neill picked up where he left off. Very first serve, and King's return is too short. But King was able to at least claim 3 games in this set, and faults from O'Neill helped his cause. This made for a more competitive set, and both players were already digging deep. Watch the exchanges. And just when you thought O'Neill had this point, a nice reaching save by King, but a very basic mistake from O'Neill gave King that point. But let's fast forward to the final game, where in the grand scheme of things, O'Neill could see sweet victory on the horizon. But King will make him work for it. Well, until he erred again. So it's set and match point to O'Neill as we pick up the action mid-rally, which was delivered like a true final should. Watch that return by King. O'Neill again on the baseline returns with purpose. The backhand and forehand play by both players is top-notch. And there you have it. King couldn't get the return right, as at 14 years old, Thomas O'Neill is your National Men's Open Tennis Champion 2024, serving his way into the record books as the youngest national men's champion to date, winning that final set at 6-3. And that's it for sports. Up next is the weather with Kerry-Ann O'Neill.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Morning Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morningbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Good evening and welcome to the weather news. Well, today the ridge pattern was the dominant feature. However, due to light winds and strong daytime heating, we had some localized showers across some sections of the island. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Joyce weakens, and we also have Tropical Depression number 12 being formed in the Atlantic. The maximum temperature today was 31 degrees Celsius, the minimum 29 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 28 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 80%, the winds they're coming in from the southeast. We take a look now at our satellite feed where we have Tropical Storm Joyce. It has weakened, the maximum sustained winds now 40 miles per hour. The system is just around 940 miles to the east-northeast of the northern leewards. The system is moving towards the northwest. The system is not posing any threat to us here in Barbados or to the region. Meanwhile, we do have Tropical Depression number 12. The system 2,050 miles to the east of the northern leewards. Now, this system is moving towards the west, maximum sustained winds 35 miles per hour. On Wednesday, we are expecting that a trough system associated with this system will generate cloudy skies, showers, and the possibility of some isolated thunderstorms here in Barbados. We'll continue to track those systems. But today, the ridge pattern was our dominant feature. As a result, we experienced some afternoon showers here in Barbados. The winds, they're quite light. And we also had strong daytime heating. As a result, sections of the island, including St. Michael, St. James, and St. Thomas, they had some localized showers, up to 50 millimeters of rainfall in St. James. Meanwhile, the winds, they're quite light across the region. They're peaking at 12 knots. The seas smooth to moderate in open water, with swells peaking at 2 meters. Later on tonight, we are expecting a mix of clear and cloudy skies, along with just a few brief showers. Further south, once again, we have those light winds, strong daytime heating, maintaining showers, and also isolated thunderstorms during the afternoon across the Guianas. Over now in the Western Caribbean, similar weather conditions. We have those light winds once again generating those localized showers and isolated thunderstorms across most of the islands. That's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast.
St. Philip, loud and proud, we are your 2024 Parish Ambassadors.
Did you know about Barbados' Child Protection Bill?
The Child Protection Bill establishes procedures for a situation where a child leaves or is taken from a foster home or child care center.
To ensure a safe return of the child, authorities can request a court order. This prompts an investigation into why they left and their placement in a secure location during the process.
Once the investigation is complete, the child's future placement will be decided on.
The Child Protection Bill is essential for providing all children with a safe environment and a promising future filled with hope and opportunities.
Let's all protect the children of Barbados, the gems of our nation.
Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 5:47 and will set at 5:48. Now, the first high tide is expected at 2:22 in the early morning, the first low at 8:38 a.m. Now, those seas, they're smooth to moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2 meters. The winds, they're coming in from the east to the northeast at 10 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, we can expect a mix of clear and cloudy skies, along with just a few brief showers. And over the next 3 days, light winds along with strong daytime heating will maintain those localized showers. On Wednesday, a trough system associated with what is now called Tropical Depression number 12 will maintain cloudy skies along with the possibility of some isolated thunderstorms.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Morning Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morningbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Well, this story just in, the Ministry of Education is advising parents and guardians of students of the Grantley Adams Memorial School that classes remain online. This as authorities await results from the tests carried out at the plant following the early suspension of classes on Thursday, September 19th, due to a noxious smell in the area. The ministry says students have been engaged in online classes since Monday, September 23rd, and it has thanked parents and guardians for their continued patience and understanding as the source of the order is investigated. And that's where we end our newscast for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.